What's up, everyone? We are going to be starting very shortly. We already got a bunch of submissions in anticipation for this. All right. So as always, I'm just going to wait a minute or two before we begin. And so, of course, if you're new to this, we're just doing, I won't call them portfolio reviews. That's it doesn't matter. If it's something design related, I'll review it. All right, it doesn't have to be a portfolio. It could be a recent project you designed for yourself or a client. It could be identity design like a logo or something like that. Just let me know. And the way you do this is you join up in the Discord link. The link's here in the description on YouTube. You create your account or whatever, and you go to the review submissions channel right here, and then you just submit it like people are doing right now. All right, so I'm checking out the page here. We got 66 people. Hey Carlos, what's up? I'm looking off a monitor off to the side here. Let's see here. Yep. Also, as always, when I do these, I can't get to everybody's, but if you do send a super chat, which is just YouTube's acronym, or not an acronym, their terminology for money in the chat box, just a few bucks or whatever, I will do your review no matter what. And these usually last an hour, so I'll probably be done around 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, so I think it's probably worth getting started here. We got 82 people in here. Okay, everything looks like it's going well. You can hear me? All right, so let's take the first one that I received from today, October 19th. This is from Bumbleboss. All right, so my portfolio is still under some development, but I would really appreciate some feedback on it. There's also a chance I might change the logo because it's rather anime focused rather than being a professional one. So I'm going to open this link here, and it's going off my other monitor. All right, here we go. Very first one from Bumbleboss. All right. Okay, so the first thing I'm thinking is it just seems a little bit, how do I say this? It's a little bit, sorry, my phone's blowing up. Shut the hell up, Jesus. A little bit empty in a sense. The navigation is kind of placed here as it seems like to be a strange location. I would probably just position this to the right, and it would kind of fill out the layout a little bit more. Coming down here, see my projects. Nope. So stuff I made. Okay. One thing you definitely have going for you is color and contrast is working well. And also scale. I can really see things quite easily at this resolution here. So coming down here, I would probably space out, give a little bit more space with these elements. Especially you have so much right here. Space them out a little bit more. All right, so that was easy enough. It's a little bit of like a gallery sort of format here. Overall, not too bad. You're getting a lot of the fundamentals correct, but what I would suggest doing is going to landing page gallery inspiration sites. I would just type that exactly into Google as I just said it, and try to look specifically at the hero section, which is what this is usually referred to as in web design. And the hero section is a very upper portion above the fold here, and try to liven it up somehow, and it'll do a lot, especially in terms of making your first impression. But you are getting a lot right here, so thanks for that submission. Let's go on to the next one. Portfolio relaunch. Okay, here we go. Let's open that up. I'm gonna just open it up off screen. Looks like there might be an issue here because nothing's loading up here. Oh, there it goes. I guess we'll translate it. All right. So the first thing I'm noticing is, well, yeah, there's two things. I would change up the logo too. It's really kind of hard to. First of all, in terms of color and contrast, it's hard to see, especially with this dark gray on almost black color right here. So definitely change that up. It's hard to see. That would be the first thing I would change, and then see where it goes from there. After that is the call to action button. I would probably make it this state right away without having to hover, because blue on blue, well, it's essentially there's no background color, so you're seeing whatever's on the background. So I would probably make it stand out a lot more. So your call to action buttons, the thing you want them to click on the most, should really stand out and separate itself from the rest of the content, especially the background. It still doesn't look bad like this, but I just think it will draw more attention to the eye. This is good. This is good as well. I like the background coming down here. This is pretty solid. It's a little strange that it's all centered, though. I would maybe consider possibly left aligning this and this, but again, everything is pretty good here. You are mixing up your type, the typeface / weights quite a bit between serif and sans serif. Like these two works quite well, but I think you have different sizes and it's a little bit too much, I think, in terms of variance. It still looks good, but I think it could probably be a little bit better if it was more simplified. And I'm not saying you can't mix serif and sans serif fonts, of course. I really like this right here. I would probably just get rid of this top part up here. It would definitely simplify it, and probably get rid of this line right here as well. Coming down, all right, I like that. Nice smooth animations. Card based, works well. All right, I like these sort of, let me get rid of that. These card based galleries or image galleries. Now this doesn't look good, of course, because you don't have a high-res photo here and on a larger viewport, so there's a lot of pixelation occurring, just something to think about. And that's happening across all of these, unfortunately. So one thing to combat that, obviously use larger scale resolution images, or scale these down on the larger viewport that I'm at. I'm on 1920 by 1080 maximized right now. See, this one's a lot better. Actually, what happened to that? It did look good. Yeah, it looked real clear, and then it got pixelated. I don't know what's going on there. But anyhow, coming down here, that's good. I would put a space there, of course. Yeah, everything here is pretty solid. Just the logo, definitely improve that. And then it's just a couple other things like that call to action button. Good stuff. Thanks for that submission. All right, trying a clean, simple, fast blog. Any suggestions would be top. All right, so I'll open this over here. Okay, so we have kind of monochromatic sort of colors occurring here. Light looks like gray, separating this content here. That works. One thing that's kind of hard to discern here is kind of where should I look at first, almost. These being bold, I would probably look for a thinner weight, or make them a little bit more gray and separate them more, because it really looks, it's hard to tell where each story or link begins and ends. So try to figure out different ways to separate those items. Outside of that, so you can't click on these links, so these are all just kind of here. But yeah, I would definitely do that up top. Like I said, to create distinction between this area. And again, there's not enough color or other content otherwise for me to really, yeah, there's no navigation as I see. It is completely simple. You have contrast is working great, obviously, but just a couple things would probably help fill this out for what it is a little bit better. So yeah, All right, thanks for that submission. Let's go on to the next here. Puppets, I assume. Under development currently and only available in Swedish English. Okay, so let's open that link. I'm going to check out the chat just to make sure everything still is going well. Sorry, I'm like reading at the same time I'm trying to talk. All right. Oh, okay, that's a nice one. All right, so let's check this out. All right, so first of all, I like the colors and the illustration a lot. This is in line with the trend that's going on from 2018, which will definitely continue for some time. I don't think you can call it a trend at that point. I think it's kind of here to stay, these cool sort of illustrations that are somehow relevant based on what's happening. So this looks good. Good design up here for the navigations. We have the Bezier curves occurring here. This is working pretty good. I might want to try to change this up a little bit. This lighter one, it feels like it's. No, I'm being too nitpicky. It's fine. This is actually okay. This is kind of the same thing. The first one I did, they had the background and the this wasn't sticking out. I mean, because this is already quite bold and white. If this is white as well, it kind of throws off the design. So I think this works right here, and this is just a contact button. I'm gonna hit OK. So these 3 blips of information here, it's done pretty well. This is a little bit hard to see. I would probably leave it at this state by default without having to hover over it, because these are quite, yeah, that purplish color is quite, there's not a lot of contrast in comparison to the background. Other than that, everything's good. All right, this seems to be pretty solid from what I see here. All right, nice smooth animations on scroll. All right, yeah, everything here looks pretty solid in my opinion, definitely. Awesome stuff. Wow, this is a very lengthy website here. I like the form as well. Very good. Pretty solid right here. Good stuff. Thanks for that submission. I'd appreciate if you could log into a form I'm building and give me feedback. All right, so I'm going to do that real quick. I'm going to copy in this. By the way, just to remind everybody, if you do want me to review your thing or your project or whatever, I will do so. One second here. I will do so for sure, no matter what, if you do a super chat. All right, so something just happened. I don't think it logged me in. Super admin, putting it there. And then password, pasted that in, log in. I can see it's going. There it goes. All right. All right. So let's see here. First of all, just a real quick comment would be to make sure that the left of this logo aligns up to the left with this right here, and same thing right here, because one thing's starting here, the other thing's starting over here, and then this element's starting right here. So they're all 3 just kind of separated, and if you can get them all kind of in the same area in terms of where they're starting at from the left column over here, that would be it would really help just tighten it up. Looking at this, the logo I would say would probably need some work for the symbol especially. It's too complex, too literal. So I would look at changing that up. All right, so we have a live chat. I'm just looking at the colors here. I like this sort of color. It kind of reminds me of the same approach of where are we at here? Yeah, this type of interface where we have slight differences between the different shades. So I like that, and I like the accent color as well. It works pretty well. I would possibly see about changing and making these white, these little labels. I'm not sure how much contrast there will be, but if I just say color white here, I kind of like that a little bit better. It just makes it stand out just a tad bit more. All right. Outside of that, everything here looks pretty solid. I like this footer / about us section. That works well. Can I actually click on any links here, or? Okay, so for what this is, pretty solid. Just change up the logo for sure, change up the alignment. Again, everything else for what it is, it doesn't seem like there's not much here that I can click on and check out actual threads. I don't think so, at least, yet, but that works. All right. Oh, this is pretty solid here as well. Yeah, keep on. I mean, doing a forum from scratch is a ton of work. You can click on news. Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. I just didn't see that area. Yeah, this is looking solid, definitely. Just a few things up here. It's a little bit monotone in a sense, so you could change up things like I said, just making this title, for instance, white would be a benefit for sure. Version 2 is launched. Trying to think, maybe you could position these elements on this larger desktop resolution, possibly over here, or maybe wrap them in like a little bit of a container of sorts, like with rounded edges, a color that's slightly lighter or darker than this background, and that way it'll make it so that everything, because this seems a little bit just kind of cluttered right here. There needs to be a separation between these two type elements and this right here. So I think a slight background with a padding would do that well. All right, I like what I see here. Very good. Keep it up. We'll go on to the next one. All right, this is, let me check the YouTube chat, make sure everything's going good. All right. All right, so who is next? That was X Samurai, I believe. All right, Nato. All right, so open that. All right, we're at almost 20 minutes already. We'll be doing this for about 40 more minutes. Okay, so the glass. Just checking things out here. Okay, so for the most part, this is pretty good. I would, first thing I would change, where the hell is the my inspector? I'm hitting. Sorry, I've lost my inspector window, I think. Why isn't it working? Jesus. There it is. Let me get it over here. Sorry about this. First thing I would change over here is take this element. Oops. And this isn't even, I'm getting pissed off. Hold on a second, guys. It's not even applying it to this element. Okay. That must be for my other window. Hold on. I'm just closing out of it entirely because I don't know what's happening to the inspector. It wasn't working. Now let's try that again. There we go. Okay, so I would push this down. Yeah, I'm gonna put it right there. There we go. I don't know what happened there. Yeah, definitely push this down right here to separate elements out there. So, you know, something like margin top 50 pixels. If I can spell, maybe not fix 50, but like 30. Or you can use EM units or whatever. And that would help kind of a little bit more change things up. Looking at this works pretty well. I'm not too sure about the drop shadow that you have applied here. Maybe make that a little bit less in terms of the blur that's occurring. And then this right here, I would make these all white if you're going to stick with this. Instead of making a black on a background that's kind of neutral, to make them stand out for the icons and all that a little bit more, make them white instead. And then coming down here, make this stuff white as well. Because like I said, it's kind of a darker blue, and you can increase the contrast much better by just making these elements white. See, that already looks a lot better. All right, other than that, everything, you know, you're getting for the most part, the colors and such right. And you have margin and padding, white space is working well. Visual hierarchy, you understand that. This is the scale is right. So yeah, good stuff. Thanks for that. Try out another submission here. So portfolio, doing designing first time as I'm more of a coder. All right, we got an Adobe XD link. All right, let's see here. This is, yeah, pretty solid of a layout from what I'm seeing here. Let me, I wish I could collapse that area. I guess I can't. But for what it is, pretty solid, very simple. You can't go wrong when it comes to simplicity, that's for sure. Let's check out my work. All right, very simple. Good thumbnail gallery, separation, my blog. This is good as well. You understand scale and using design aesthetics to really emphasize the priority. So our title is the most important, so it's bold, it's larger. We have a description here. Yeah. I mean, for somebody who is primarily a coder and just getting into design, this is working quite well. I would probably focus on changing up the just slightly this area. It's a little bit condensed, a little bit too much. Maybe make this bold so you can really separate things out visually a little bit more so in this area. But other than that, this is solid, very simple. Works. Thanks for that. We'll go on to the next one. Andrea, open link. And let's see here. All right, so for this, things is a little bit too big. It's too in my face. So I would definitely scale this down a bit and probably center it as well. Let's go ahead and continue on. All right, so I would take all this stuff right here and I would left align the H2 element and the paragraph element so that it's not centered. So when you have two columns, usually just best to left align or right align the content instead of centering it. It'll make it look better. Let's look over here. I'll probably get rid of the glow that's happening here on hover. You could change, you can maybe add something really subtle, but this is a lot in my opinion. These are also quite large. I would scale these down quite a bit and maybe think about how a different way that you could do like the background. And you can see they have this light background where the edges of these devices are right up against them, and that's just it makes things look cluttered. So if anything, I would take these, if you're going to leave this background, take these devices and scale them down a lot so that you have a lot of white space around the edges of that. All right. Yeah, everything just seems, it seems like I zoomed up my browser too much when I look at this design. I would try to scale things down just a bit. I mean, you don't want them so small you can't see them and it's hard, but there's a middle ground. All right, this seems pretty effective. So good call to action there. All right, thanks for that. Hopefully I was able to help a bit. Let's try, let me check out the, I wouldn't be coding if I'm a doctor. Make sure everything is going good here. Okay. Let's do another one. So Nexus, wait, was that Nexus? Yeah. All right, we'll check this one out. Open link. All right. We have some issues. All right. So what's really strange right out of the gate is this font. Whatever you're using, it must not be the font. Maybe you're applying some type of very subtle, like outer glow to or something, but it looks blurry to me. It looks like it's pixelated almost. So I would definitely get rid of that. Definitely change up the type. It looks like you have some letter spacing happening here. They're too far out. And then, of course, everything is just kind of crunched together big time, and we have all this space available. So definitely, I would rework this entirely. And you know, if you just want something that's ultra simple like this, it could still be just executed much better. So what I would do if I were you is look at like the landing page gallery inspiration sites and UI inspiration sites, and maybe look specifically for card layouts, because you could, this is essentially a card that you have occurring here, and get ideas for inspiration. And I think you'll be able to, you know, pick and choose elements from whatever you're looking at and come up with something that would be a lot better than this for sure. All right, so thanks for that. We'll do, all right, the content text is not really done yet, but okay. All right, let's open this. This is a Shure SM, what is it? SM7B. Yeah, it's the same one that Joe Rogan uses. It's popular. I love it. I've had a bunch of mics in the past, but I like this one a lot. All right. Okay, so looking at this, we have some issues here. So the first issue right out of the gates, I would say, is color and contrast. So it's very hard to read this based on this imagery occurring back here. This is a quite dynamic photo with a lot of different highlights and colors and shades. And when you put text over on top of it, if you're not like fading it out, like the opacity, and maybe you have a black background behind it, and so that this becomes darker with this white text, if you're not doing that, it's going to be hard to read. So I would try to fade this out so that it becomes darker, more of a watermark, and then you'll get away with being able to do something like this. The second issue is scale. It's kind of small. It's kind of small here on this resolution, at least. So I would, you know, increase this by about 2x. So like font size, that's better. So that's 3 EM units. Probably when it comes to the sub headline, yeah, like you said, the content's not all there. I wouldn't have this amount of text for the sub headline. Maybe like no more than this amount of text right here. And then when you do that, you could take the font size up to like 1.8 EM maybe, if you only had this amount. So for instance, if I take this, let's see here, and we go, can I get rid of this? There we go. All right, so it's a little bit better. Plus, when you do make this larger, you can see this text a little bit more, but still, I would fade that out. Okay, so coming down here. Now, the issue with this, you need more padding on the top, big time, especially, you know, when I'm just talking about this particular resolution, which is a desktop sort of resolution. So we could see we have padding just only 10 pixels. Hell no, we gotta get that up to like, let's see, 3 EM. It seems like you're setting the padding bottom specifically here. All right, something like this is a lot better. You have 2 columns here, so take everything in this and No, we don't want to text align center that. Same thing with the section right here. We don't want that either. I think that would be a little bit better. And maybe not quite as much text. I would try to condense that because it's a wall of text almost. People are lazy. They don't like reading crap. So coming down here again, add the same amount of margin that you would have up here. Just increase it. You have all the space on a larger desktop resolution to get away with it. And then secondly, get rid of this section right here, this outer glow. No, don't do that. Also, this form could be reworked as well. Don't center your form elements like this. Push them to the left. Maybe just make them. It's already a small container, so just make these go out 100% in this container as well. And again, this is one of those things, you look at UI inspiration sites, look at the form section, and you'll come up with great ideas. All right. Thanks for that. We'll go to this one next. Built from scratch upon the Vue JS framework. Oh, okay, great. Awesome. All right. Let me check the... All right, everything's going smooth so far. What are we about 31 minutes into this? Okay. Okay. All right, so first of all, I like the logo. Very simple, abstract, cool stuff. Very simple navigation, good contrast, good colors, very solid right here. This section, very simple. Seems like you could probably, you have three different styles occurring here. We have the title or the headline. You have a sub-headline, which is bold. And then you have this other secondary text underneath it. It's still not separated enough visually, in my opinion. I would probably try to condense this in a different way so that your sub-headline text isn't so much text that's being bold. So just figure out what would be a more simple, maybe just one line of this will be bold and then the rest will be regular text. And then because it seems a little bit cluttered up here with that amount of different styling occurring across that much type. Well, that's a good idea, a cool idea. This is solid call to action here. You can hear very solid image gallery, like a card-based image gallery design happening here. Very solid to give good white space, good contrast, very good, like it. This is good as well, very subtle card backgrounds that you can still see, kind of pop out when you hover. Very good. This is all solid here. Awesome. Nice page transition fade animations. All right, I like this. Very good stuff. I'm glad I could help with the Vue education. All right, we'll open this. All right, and again, let me see how many. Oh, we have a lot. Where are we at? We're right here. And how many more do we have to go? Oh yeah, there's no way I'm getting to all you guys. So yeah, again, I have like what 25 minutes left. If you do want me to do it, just remember you can submit a super chat and I will do that for you no matter what. All right, so coming down here, let's see. That was an interesting bunch of animation. Let's refresh that. I kind of regret freshening that though because okay, there, it didn't take too long. Yeah, that's pretty solid. Having that amount of text coming in there like that. I might rework possibly this right here, the color of that, where there's a green border with the white text inside. I would instead, well, let me see if I can do it. Let's see here, console, no, elements. I would get rid of the background. All right, this might be a little bit difficult, more difficult than I thought it would be, depending on how many styles, where they're placed at. Let's make that white. You know, if we could just get rid of that background, the green background, so there's no background, you would just see this in the back. I think having the white would work a little bit better. It would contrast more with this one over here. So continuing on, pretty solid navigation right here. Donate button sticks out quite well. I'm not sure about making it red. Well, I guess it depends on the culture. I mean, when it comes to color psychology, it depends. I would leave it green personally, but red is usually kind of something that's denoted as being danger. And stay away from that. You don't want people to do that, right, when you're trying to get donations. Outside of that, this sub-headline or this little slogan, I can barely see that. So that needs, if you're going to have a slogan inside a logo, you definitely need to increase the size of that because I can't see what that says at all. Coming down here, need more white space or padding, essentially, inside of each of these containers. The things are too, the icons are way too large as well, and so try to bring things in a little bit better, and try to structure them so that there's, over here in the left column is your icon, and then over in the right column is your headline, sub-headline, or your description text, whatever you want to call it, and then your button, and they all need to start on the same area, because we can see this starts right here, and then kind of just pushed over a little bit is the Donate Now button. It throws off the flow of the layout. All right, this seems pretty solid right here. Yeah, that works. Try to get even equal padding on the top and bottom here. Good gallery section, this works, and good footer. All right, so just a few things there to keep in mind. All right, so who was that? Zyko, Z-Y-Z-O. Okay, here's a Behance portfolio. $195 people watching, good stuff. It's probably my best on a Friday. All right. We're at 37 minutes. Let's keep on going. All right. So it looks like this individual does, yeah, identity design and UI design. All right. So let's just check logos. All right. Let's just check the logos here. All right. Abstract. I like this. Good and simple. Pretty solid. Definitely not a beginner when it comes to logo design, so not too much that I can say is happening wrong here. So good stuff, like the logos. Website design concept, we'll check this. All right, nice, very stylish. This is kind of like an identity guideline slash or a presentation. Yeah, this is very solid, very unique. Let's check out another one. Not much I can offer here. We'll try an app store or an app design. Very solid here. Yeah, all this looks solid. Definitely an experienced designer. I like this. Maybe I'll check out just one more UI kit design. Yeah, these are all solid. Assuming you designed all this stuff. Very good. I like it. Not one thing that I could say wrong. So keep at it. We'll do, let's see here. This one right here. I really like this background image as the photograph. Very solid. I think though that we could definitely make an improvement because I like the color. I like everything. I just think this should be a little bit larger, just a bit. Again, you don't want to go too large, obviously, but doing something like oh, it's Montserrat, my very favorite font. Maybe not quite that big. I don't know, maybe not even that big, but just a little bit bigger. And also maybe make this white, possibly, maybe not, and maybe just slightly larger. Really like that background though. It's not pure black, but it's like kind of like faded, like it has like an Instagram filter on it or something. I like that. Let's check out, I'm not sure exactly if this is all, what is portfolio box? I don't even know what that is. I hope you design this. I hope I'm not designing some other template or critiquing some other template. All right, that's cool. Very cool. I like the, I think I covered how to do such an effect in a tutorial. The scaling the thumbnail image on hover. Yeah, I like this. Very good stuff. Not too much that I can critique about this otherwise. Good stuff. All right, who was that? Portfolio box. Okay, this next one. Coupon app. Well, there's not a ton that I can really... Yeah, unfortunately, I'm going to need a little bit more to do a critique than outside of just a small sort of screenshot right here. So if you can come back with more screens and maybe put it in a different context, like on a page or something, then that would help. Let's open link here. I'm just looking at the chat and make sure everything's good to go here. All right. Wait a second. All right, so I already saw that one. Open link. All right. First of all, too many icons are occurring here. You got icons up here, and then we got icons over here. So it's throwing things off a little bit too much. And this is a navigation, and it's a completely a bad idea to use icons, only icons, and no descriptor for important your primary navigation. You'll see sometimes they'll do, like for instance on Discord, we kind of have that over here, but these actually have relevance in a sense. But this, these are relevant too, kind of, but you still have to guess about what they are exactly. So if you're going to use icons, make sure underneath you put the actual name. So I probably wouldn't center them either. I would try to get maybe your name right here, which is more of a typical convention, like the name of the site or the company or the person, and then have the navigation maybe right aligned over here. Outside of that, everything else is extremely simple to the point in which it's just a white background, and you can get away with that sometimes. I would also have a call to action down here to direct them, give them a place to go after this rather than forcing them just to click up here. So let's go to projects. All right, so things need to be spaced out more. Like more space needs to be given to each one of these projects. Everything's really kind of cluttered up here. There's an uneven amount of white space from the top of this right here to the bottom of this. So make there be an even amount of padding or margin from this element to the bottom of this element and the top of this, or the bottom of this button right here. And there's also too much lines and strokes occurring here. So fill this button in, I would definitely say, and probably even get rid of this as well, these lines. It'll simplify things a lot more and make it look better. So skills, again, there's an issue with what's called visual hierarchy. You're giving the same amount of importance visually in terms of color, scale, and the font weight being bold for the label versus the category labels up here. So you're not sure where you should look at first. So I would definitely increase the size of that, push it down. You have so much let me do it real quick. You have so much room to work with on this particular resolution. So margin top, font size, maybe not that big. And also margin bottom maybe. So already, just really quickly, we've improved it just a little bit. I would still change this up just a bit so that you can maybe think about reworking. Maybe put these in card layouts, maybe slightly make the background a little bit gray, make the card backgrounds white, and put those in 4 different cards. And it'll create more of a layout for you, because this is really too much on the simple side, in my opinion. And it'll give you more of a sense of a layout. So let's go ahead and continue on. Where the hell is my, there we go. All right, so where are we at? We're at 46 minutes. I don't want to sound like I'm spamming to try to like fish for money, but I'm not going to be getting to everybody's. Yeah, if you're down here, I won't be able to get to your review. If you do, make sure you send a super chat, pay for my margarita tonight. I'm probably going to have, and we will. And I will get to your review no matter what if you do send a super chat. Okay, that's the last time I'm going to mention it, by the way. So now let's go on to the next one. Who was that? Let me get that up. That was Raj right there. Wow, okay. So I always open these up off screen. I don't want to get spammed with porn or something. So that's why I do that. All right. So there's a lot happening here. Whew, it's a gamer sort of UI. All right. Oh, it's Fortnite. Okay, very popular game. I never played it. I don't game anymore, and I'm kind of sad about that. Sucks that I can't read. I'm not sure. Yeah, I can't read this, obviously. But looking at this, we have an ad here. I'm just trying to get a gauge on what's happening. For what it is, it's actually pretty solid with the background and such. You know, typically the type of sites that I see most often are more the corporate, more clean site. But for this being a game website, I mean, it's perfectly fine to have, you know, a really, I wouldn't call it complex, but a really vibrant slash busy sort of design. So for what this is, it's actually pretty solid. Me personally, I moved this over here to the left to help frame the navigation a little bit better. Let me click on a different page here. Maybe make this a little bit larger, the title. I would assume that's what that is. And I'm just not used to this type of layout. I know it depends on, you know, the language. A lot of times things are naturally just pushed over and like for me personally, I would love to see it left aligned, but that might not be based on wherever this individual is from. So yeah, it sucks. I wish I could understand and read the content so that I could help better in terms of but in terms of the colors and the contrast from what I see and for what it's supposed to be, I do like it. One thing though, real quickly, I would change is fade this background so it doesn't just abruptly end. Big old gradient fade in the background, just like that. All right, let's continue on. Who was that? Okay, right there. All right, I think I did this one already. At least I think I did. I think I did this last week. I mean, unless I'm wrong, I don't know. But I do like this. The background is a watermark background with these shapes. Just barely see them, but you can see them enough. So it breaks up, just instead of being 100% white, it does give you something extra to look at. So I like that. Pretty solid navigation up here. All right, simple stuff. This is all spread out well. Good visual separation between your icons, the headline and the description. Good card-based designs here. Yeah, not very much that I can critique here. That would be negative. Good stuff. Let's continue on. All right, we have 10 minutes left. All right, very interesting sort of approach here that we have occurring. I'm not too sure about using that yellow with a soft background. Well, let me see, where is it at? Is this it? Yeah, I'm trying to get rid of the damn the box shadow occurring there. But I don't know. I don't see where it's at. Well, either way, I would just completely get rid of it and just let it be the yellow container here. All right. Definitely move things in. You have a lot of white space up here, but barely any right here. So I would move things in just a bit, quite a bit more actually, because you're pretty close to the side over here. Again, not enough white space on the edges, so move everything in that way. All right, and this, I mean, if you look at this, it seems like there's a lot happening between each one of these different projects. So I would probably encase each one of these in some type of card-based container design, and that will help separate them visually a little bit more than what's happening. But outside of that, I like what I see here. Outside of just a few small things. All right. Let's see here. I'm checking the chat. And this is the next one. Yeah, people down here, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to get to all of you guys. So if you do want me to, I lied. I'm going to ask for a super chat again. All right, so let me close these other tabs. All right, so immediately I'm starting to think about Christmas with the red and the green. I might want to change. You might want to change that and use either one color or a different color combination. For this thing happening right here, the typewriter effect, I might left align this actually over here just a bit. Let's continue on. I like the navigation that comes down. This is pretty solid. I like the colors here. I'm glad you didn't use green and you used white for that. These are solid. Works well. All right, pretty solid for the navigate or the thumbnails here. All right. Yeah, overall pretty solid, I'd have to say. All right, thanks for that. 53 minutes we're at. Let me see, where was that? CRI. Sorry, I lost my space. Okay, apparently I can't search like that how I want to. Sorry, I gotta find, there it is. Okay, we'll do this next one. Sorry, it's way over here. I might be able to do this and maybe one more after, and then I'll wait for some super chats if those come in. Otherwise, for a couple minutes. Otherwise, I will not do it anymore. We'll be at an hour. All right, so taking a look at this navigation needs you need to scale down the size of these fonts. They're a little bit too big and spread out, in my opinion. So I'd scale this down quite a bit. Outside of that, this drop shadow that you have is pretty dark, and it kind of clashes with this border that you have. So either get rid of the border, in which case you would probably have to have a light gray background for that to work, or really lighten up this shadow right here, put more opacity on it. All right, so for this, you have a lot of text that's spanning 100% width of your container, so it's kind of hard to read. I would try to think about how you could change that up so that you can have 2 columns so it's more condensed. And the way you're aligning these, they're not lined up with the center of the actual container. So I would, because really this should be pushed over maybe right around here, and then this part will be centered underneath skills, and then this will be over here. So think about alignment for that. Also think about how you can separate these different sections of your layout. You have about, skills, and projects, but there's no visual separation with the background of some sort. So I would look into that as well. All right, so those few things, if you do that, you'll definitely improve the design overall. All right. All right, so we'll do, I'm going to do one more. We're already at 56 minutes. And so who was next? All right, a charity website for our client. I did last, wait, didn't I just see that one? Yeah, I already reviewed that one. All right, so I'm gonna do the next one. So this will be my last review unless somebody sends a super chat, and then I will do them as they come in. So here we go. Nice logo icon, I like that. Work photo about me, that works. Good headline, good sub headline. All right, everything's solid so far. No, that's not solid, unfortunately. I would definitely put some type of background behind this fixed navigation at the top, because somebody could stop right here and then it's like, what the hell's happening? So I would definitely work on doing that. And it does seem to be, if you do put a background behind it, it's going to be it's going to take up quite a bit of space with the amount of white space that you have up here. Plus you would probably need the same amount at the bottom. So I would maybe push things up just a bit. Outside of that, this is pretty solid here. Good white space using at the top and bottom. I would probably use adjust the line height on this so that this comes up a little bit closer. All right, solid thumbnails here. All right, good stuff. All right, so right now we're at 58 minutes, so I'm just going to leave a couple extra minutes if you are one of these people who submitted it and I did not get a chance to do your review. If you do send a super chat in the chat area, then I will do the review. So I'll just wait a minute or two in case any come in. And in the meantime, I'm gonna fish for subscribers on my new YouTube channel. So let me show you guys real quick. I launched another YouTube channel, and it sucks because starting from scratch sucks. I'm used to my channel. It has almost 300,000 subscribers. You upload a video and you get like 3,000 to 4,000 to 5,000 views in the same day, and then yeah, you start off with another new channel, and that is completely not the case. Let me show you guys real quickly. I'm getting it up off the screen. Yeah, so this right here is my new YouTube channel called Slant. All right, so I have 3 videos so far, And it's just like me doing music related stuff. That's one of my hobbies, is guitar and all that stuff. So 37 subscribers. I just started recently, and I'm now going to be putting out content at least once a week for this, teaching people guitar stuff and drum stuff and all that stuff. So maybe I'll go paste the link in the chat if you guys want to, and if you're interested. All right. So I'll close that out now. All right. All right, guys. Let me pop out the chat real quick. I'll take a look at, see if there's any questions. Hi, gay. I think you forgot the R. No, maybe not, says the great hacker. All right. What is my favorite framework? I'm really liking Nuxt.js right now. I built my site, my slantaudio.com site, which it's not polished, trust me. With Nuxt.js. See, I can even critique my own design. Like I completely did not account for this larger viewport, so things are getting all fucked up right there. But oh, yeah, damn it. Let me come back here. Yeah, it's definitely a work in progress, that's for sure. But I really like the animations that I have worked in here. So this has a Laravel backend for the API for grabbing data from a MySQL database, and then I'm using Nuxt.js on the front end. And it's also, in Nuxt.js is just Vue with server-side rendering, SSR, so that, because I want these to rank in the search engines, and so I wonder if Google started to do that yet. The site is pretty much brand new. Site, slantaudio.com. Yeah, so if I type in site:/slantaudio.com at Google, it is picking up unfortunately, it doesn't have any of the other pages indexed yet because they're still quite new. I don't have any links pointing to this site. But yeah, I'm going to be covering a tutorial soon about how to use Nuxt.js with a Laravel backend. This is also deployed with Laravel Forge, which is a really handy service for handling deployment. So whenever I want to make a change to the site, I just push it to GitHub, and then automatically Laravel Forge will pull that change within a second, pull the information from, or the change data from GitHub, and then set it up to run a couple commands where it will rebuild the Nuxt project and then redeploy the server. So yeah, very fun. Still a lot of work that needs to be done on this site. All right, so it looks like, oh no, okay, we did get a super chat. I will do that then. All right, so could you please review mine? It is Kender K. All right, so where is Kender in here? I assume, oh, right there. Thank you for the super chat. And let's do a review. Let me get water first. All right. Okay, so right off the bat, we have this icon based. Again, I would, if you're going to use icons, I would put the label, the text-based label, either underneath or to the right side of the icon. That way we don't have to, you don't make your guest or your visitor have to guess anything. The eat, sleep, code, repeat, this section right here, I would probably maybe move this to the middle. Actually, I just saw it right now. I can't believe. Okay, there are icons here. I'm not sure if you can see it based on my video quality, but there are icons up here that you can barely see at all. There's hardly any contrast with these. So what I would do, scale the size of these down a bit and make the icons actually stick out more. Because I could barely see it. Like at first I didn't see it at all. All I saw was this. So I would definitely scale them down because I could see the fork and knife right here is very close up top here. So give these things more room to breathe, more white space and padding on the top and the bottom here. And then these are kind of faded out like the eat. Make them 100% opacity and make them white instead. Maybe scale them down just a little bit smaller as well. All right. Let's see here. All right. So a few things. Seems like you like using different containers here, like this rounded containers on the back here, and then in here is another container that really doesn't serve much of a purpose. And especially the color, the gradient you're using, this is better because there's more contrast between itself and the background. And this over here it clashes a little bit too much. It's too bright, so it kind of almost hurts the eyes. Ideally, I'd probably just get rid of the whole thing, make this white, and you'll simplify things a lot better. And then, again, when it comes to drop shadows, you have to really know how to use them and also use them sparingly and use them in the correct context. So I'd probably get rid of the very soft drop shadows occurring here. This as well, there's a left and right border occurring here. I would get rid of that. If you're going to use it, don't make it so dark, I would say, because it just ends up cluttering stuff. So again, we have this section right here. I would completely get rid of this entire container and just have web development instead. It seems like you're trying to do too much when less is usually the better way to go, rather than complex. So we have these shadows and stuff, just too much stuff happening. This section's good, although I would say maybe there's too many colors, so you could simplify things by changing sticking to 1 or 2 colors here max for that. And when it comes to the one that's currently selected, when you have this yellow over here, it makes it hard to read projects. So you want a lot more contrast. So the way you would fix that is just make it this color all the way around, or use a gradient color up here that's not so bright. And then you'd be able to see this text better. I like this color of this call to action button. Again, get rid of the shadows, or the drop shadow right here. Especially in this context, it seems like it's a different color. It's not really, it looks like it's like a blue almost. And that kind of clashes with this orange color right here. And again, the biggest thing that I can recommend is to go to, on Daily UI Inspiration site or something like that. Collect UI is one of them, and try to get ideas. And one of the things that I did an entire video on this is the way to get better at UI design, or almost in anything, is to copy first. And copy in the sense that you're only copying to help build your muscle memory. You're not copying to copy and like actually reuse people's stuff on your own projects. Just copy for the exercise alone and then delete the project, because you don't want to do that, obviously. But in the process of copying good design, you train your brain subconsciously and you develop that muscle memory to start designing the type of designs that look good, but you have a hard time producing it from scratch. So that's one of the best things, biggest tips that I can pretty much give anybody. So you definitely are doing things correct here, but I think you would definitely could definitely improve for sure. All right, so thanks for that super chat. It looks like that was the only one that came in, and we're at 1 hour and 10 minutes already. So I'm going to wrap this up and conclude. And yeah, thanks for everyone stopping out. I'm usually doing these once every 2 weeks now. So with that said, I'll go one last time and check the super chat or the chat down here. All right, and okay, what is this dude doing? I am just going to put the user in timeout. There, the great hacker gets a timeout. Awesome. All right. I kind of just want to sit here just so I can sit. I could just watch the fact that the great hacker cannot talk anymore at all. Isn't this nice? All right. All right. I think that's enough. He has his dunce cap on. Sitting in the corner. Oh, man. All right. So, yeah. Like I said, 2 weeks from now, I'll do this again. And if I didn't get to yours, try to be here quickly. I usually, like an hour before, I will schedule the thing, and also hang out in the Discord server as well, because I'm always there. And yeah. All right, guys, I will see you soon. All right, see you later.